Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again, and welcome back to NASCAR Thunder 2004 Career Mode. It's race 10 out of 36, going to a racetrack that never should have been bulldozed, Auto Club Speedway, because this track's actually fantastic, and it's a shame to see it go. So, what a crazy one. Elliott Sadler won at Martinsville with a miracle caution that pretty much split the field and only had like 6 cars on the lead lap. 3 of them were able to hold off somehow on fuel. Elliott Sadler with an amazing win at Martinsville. We're going to see how many wins he's had. That was the first win in his entire playthrough for this series, because he has not won since the spring of 2001 driving the 21 car for the Wood Brothers. First win since 2001 in the year 2012. How about that? Which, if you really think about this, it's actually kind of believable, because if you think about it, in 2012 and 2011, he was on a resurgence in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And if you ask me, if you would have put him in a very competitive Cup car, I would not be surprised he actually won a race in 2012. I'm just throwing it out there, because he was really darn good in the Xfinity Series. Like, you can look at his statistics. He should have been a 2-time champion in the Xfinity Series. Unfortunately, he never won one. So I actually believe that statistic, that he could have won a Cup race in the 2010s. So anyways, we're only 49 points out, and let's look at our upcoming schedule. So obviously we're going to California, Richmond, and then it says the Coke 600, but it's actually the All-Star race. So, hey, the summer is coming among us. Pocono is coming up pretty soon, so got to get them Winston Cup points. Let's go check out the shop. Let's see what's cracking a lacking. So we're already working on that. Nothing much more there. Let's see what the sponsors are saying. They're 100% happy, which is great. And hey, we're doing great. Sponsors are happy. They're probably going to want to re-sign at the end of the year, which who knows how that negotiation is going to go down. You never know in this game. We could get a brand new sponsor for the 2013 season. We could stay with them. You never know. Problem is, oh, actually no, we're going to California. I thought we were going to Richmond. I was about to be like, we're going to have to reuse all of our short track stuff. No, we got a fresh car. Definitely want that 81 power plant, and we're going to choose this one because we're going to need some extra drafting help. Car rating 82. Let's go. Alrighty, folks. So we qualified 30th at Auto Club Speedway. Not what we're looking for. So without further ado, let's go trackside. So once again, a racetrack that never should be demolished.
We're in Fontana, California, home of the California Speedway for today's Auto Club 500. It's another great day for racing. Pit strategy could be a major factor in this race, Barney.
Yeah, and what makes these long green runs interesting is that although the cars are all relatively similar, they can have very different pit windows. That can play a very important role at the end of the race with determining who has to pit again and who can go the distance.
The 82 car might see some payback for his latest actions on the racetrack.
Quite honestly, I think his driving has gotten a little out of control. It's one thing to be out there driving aggressively and fighting for position, but he's gone over the line as of late.
David Green has not had the finishes he's hoped for in the past couple races.
And trust me, it hasn't been for the lack of effort. Those guys have been working hard all season. Maybe they can right the ship with a good finish here.
Mike Bliss hasn't made much of a move in the points so far.
And how frustrating that must be. You're working just as hard as everyone else, yet you just can't seem to finish well on race days to gain the valuable points you need. These guys need a good finish just to regain their confidence as a team.
Alrighty, folks. We're on pole for this race. No surprise. Jeff Gordon is going to be on pole for, well, the racetrack that's going to be turned into a short track, supposedly, and actually sold for $500 million 10 years from now. Something like that. 500. We got some cool alternate paint schemes, though. I seen the Mountain Dew car. Terry Labonte. The 5 cars got that Looney Tunes paint scheme. We'll see what other paint schemes we can see. I haven't seen the UPS car in a while because they're so far back in the pack because Ryan Hornaday, unfortunately, is just no good in this game. It's a shame because he's a fantastic trucker, but not as a Cup Series driver. So anyways, 29th at Fontana. Oh boy. I don't know how this one's going to go, fellas, but what can you do? Car feels really, really sluggish after the first couple of corners, but we're gonna have to rely mostly on draft, honestly. But the speeds here are just insane. I mean, I love this track so much. Look at that, 210 miles per hour, man. And this is back when the track wasn't worn out. The racing nowadays is just, I'm telling you, the 2023 next-gen race at Fontana is going to be an all-time classic. I truly do believe. I feel like you're going to see that race 30 years from now. Because it just, the racing was just so fanned out. The sand-blasted front ends, the atmosphere, knowing the bulldozers are coming. I'm going to miss this track so much, man. Like, out of all the tracks that had to go, why Fontana? You know? Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, they actually revert it and say, you know what, we're not going to get rid of the track. But at the time of this video, that's basically what's happening. Ooh, contact there with Tina Gordon. But like seriously, if you're going to get rid of a racetrack or reconfigure a racetrack, I could pick so many other better racetracks to be worked on than this. I mean, New Hampshire, Phoenix, Richmond, something. They'll take out one of the best racing quality tracks in NASCAR. You're like, well, we got to repave it. I have a theory for that, guys. And I've been cooking on this theory for a couple of years. There has got to be a way that they can artificially age a racetrack. And my theory is that what if they were able to add grooves or like borderline microscopical fractures into the top layer of the asphalt? Maybe a laser cutter or some sort of machine, like, you know, it could be a high pressure wash, like a water machine, you know, like they use with Haas cutting machines. They could have something that will go around the entire racetrack and essentially add the tiny, like, borderline microscopical grooves into the asphalt that occur after decades of, you know, weather and sun and all kinds of stuff. Why not freshly pave a racetrack, work with some of the best engineers in the world, right, that have done maybe even Formula One tracks, you never know, and artificially create a aged track surface with the durability that it's going to last you 15 years, so you have your return on investment for the repave, but brings you racing that you would not see until a decade and a half later. I truly do believe they could do that. I truly do believe. I don't know how great it would be, but my theory is this, is that if you could artificially age the top layer of the racetrack, it's only going to just make it better. I mean, 10 years from then, guess what? It's only going to age even more and make the track even more worn out, and the drivers and the fans are going to freaking love it. There's just got to be a better way than just, okay, well, we have to just repave it or reconfigure it because it's falling apart. No, I truly do believe they can make it out. So anyways, our car is feeling pretty sluggish right now. 25 laps here, but fuel is not a problem. It's tires. When do you pit here, guys? Because you're going to need it. We qualified bad. Car's not stout. We've won here multiple times, I believe. So this is a good track for us, but you got to find a way to create some speed. We're probably just going to have to drop the PSI on the pit stop, which I wish we can just go and get a caution and get that done. That should give us a whole bunch of speed. Hopefully, let's see if that works out. Because, you know, if you drop the PSI, it does affect the handling. It does affect the tire wear. It's a balance. But, you know, if you have no speed, you have no choice. It's like, do you want the car to turn better entry, or do you want it to turn better on exit? You can't have both. Because as soon as you adjust one thing, it affects another. And that's the beauty of stock car racing. There's never been a perfect race car in stock car racing history. It's just better in one section than the other. But the good news is it's a drafting track, so you're going to have the ability to essentially cover up the lack of speed with drafting from one car, which I kind of consider the monkey branch mentality. We just go to one car and jump off, go to another one. That's pretty much what you got to do here at Fontana. But man, I love this track. I truly do think that they could find a way to artificially age racetracks. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not just saying that, like, as a pipe dream. Like, I truly think, like, imagine if you had a robot or something, or, you know, a laser cutter, and it could spend, like, months, maybe even a year, cutting into the asphalt by just extreme precision. Like, I'm talking, like, 1,000ths or thousandths of an inch. Across the entire racetrack, they could have a crew that does that. You could artificially age these tracks so you can repave them, make your weather delays or whatever a whole lot more efficient, because that's another thing you have to worry about, weepers and stuff. I think eventually those will be a thing of the past. I feel like the new ways they pave racetracks, they have better drainage, they have better ideas. I feel like those things are a thing of the past, the weeper problems, because they understand a lot more about that. For these bigger tracks that they, you know, pave, you know, like Texas and Fontana, X, Y, and Z that had the weepers. But I mean, just imagine that. You know, like whenever Darlington needs to be ripped up in 10 years, imagine if they could just go and say, you know what, instead of us waiting a decade for the racing to actually be good, let's just artificially age it. I truly would love to see that at one of these racetracks and try it. Maybe try it first on a short track, you know? Low risk. And if it works there, bring it to other places. Pit stops are underway right now. We might pit early, but honestly, I'd rather have the tires for the end of the run. But another thing that, you know, people are going to say it's a crazy idea, and they might be right. But also another thing, people have been saying it's crazy, the idea of stock cars running rain ovals. Well, guess what? They can run in the rain in 2023 at ovals. Now, I'm not saying how effective it's going to be, but I'm just stating that it's now a possibility. And my theory with that is they should have, at every track that's deemed eligible to run in the rain, you know, flat tracks, short tracks, X, Y, and Z, they should have a enlarged splitter or an enlarged spoiler that all the teams carry, that's fixed, pre-mount, whatever. It's just a kit they attach that gives the cars 2 to 3 times more downforce, right? Kind of like the Daytona prototypes would have, or, you know, sports cars would have at the you know, Daytona 24 hours. That would give them so much front and rear downforce that they could run in the rain and have grip. So when they hit the gas, they're not spinning out. They should have that. I truly do believe. Again, this is just, you know, crap talking, but I truly think there is a way to make it happen. I truly think if you have a rain oval kit that all the teams have, so if they say, okay, it's going to rain today, we're going to have a 30-minute extension before the race, all the teams, they replace the splitters, they replace the spoilers, they do a quick little R&D check, and the cars have 2 to 3 times more downforce. They can make the spoilers be clear, right? They can do whatever they got to do. There's a way to do it. I truly think so. I mean, if they're able to run stock cars in the middle of the LA Coliseum and they're willing to pave a racetrack and rip it up right after, to be honest with you, anything's possible. If they're willing to run a street course in Chicago and potentially even in New York in the future, anything is possible. And the fact that they're willing to bulldoze one of the best tracks in NASCAR shows you anything is possible. You know, the old ways of NASCAR thinking of, you know, okay, well, that's a pipe dream. That'll never happen. The fact that they're bringing back North Wilkesboro. That's what I'm saying. Any of these things could happen. I would not be surprised one bit in 10 years. Rain racing at most of the ovals, if not all of them, is a thing. I would not be surprised one bit. This car is sliding badly. But I still think that artificially aged asphalt is something NASCAR should invest in, because if you can have if there's like a company or a crew that does these repaves, that they can build something that will artificially cut. I mean, I'm talking like precision, like microscopical grooves into the racetrack. So like you could run your hand over it and you probably couldn't even tell the difference. That would artificially age the tires and create that wide racing and multi-lane racing that we all know and love. Tracks would no longer fear repaves, because they know that they can provide to their fans significantly better racing than having a fast, one groove racetrack. Because sometimes you want a fast repaved racetrack, but sometimes you don't. Like Atlanta Super Speedway, it's probably going to be best for that to be repaved and stay super fast. Let's just be honest. It would be mini pack racing, and I think that kind of defeats the purpose of it. But at like a Texas or a Kansas or a Chicago Homestead, man, you need that worn out surface. You need that, because that provides that multi-groove racing. It provides that tire strategy. And I know I am rambling, so I apologize for that. Our car has been crap thus far. We've been running mid-pack all day. We've got a huge gaggle of cars. Your race leader is Jeff Gordon and Ryan Newman. I don't think we're going to be able to win the 2012 Fontana 500, but we're trying. We're trying. Oh, boy, that was close. Come on, come on. Push, push, push. Let's go, let's go. Whoa, that was close. Dive, dive, dive. There we go. Perfect. So that air pressure adjustment made a huge difference. That little bit of acceleration is allowing us to be more aggressive on corner entry and corner exit. Let's see how this one goes. Just dive in the corner, take full advantage of it, use up whatever you got. But again, it's one of those tracks where you have to monkey branch. You have to go from one car, draft up to them, and then draft to the next one. That's the equalizer. And if your car's not fast enough to catch them, well, then you're screwed. But if you're just fast enough to maintain some sort of a draft, you'll be doing just fine. And that thing also works against you, because if you can draft, they can draft too. Okay, let me run that outside, and then we're just going to just dive bomb in the corner. Perfect. A little bit, we lost a little bit of speed on corner exit, but we gained a little bit during the entry to the apex. But the reason why we're not catching them is because they're all drafting each other. They're pushing each other, they're drafting, they're helping each other. And we're just going to kill all of our speed there. Dang it. And Mick Murray's not really helping us out, unfortunately. Oh, he's trying to pass us. I don't blame him. Just, we don't have enough speed to catch him. I mean, that draft is so important here, and 42 is just going to make it a really difficult thing. Come on now. Yeah, I still think it's possible. Artificially aged asphalt. Because what is tracks that have what makes Homestead special is because the asphalt's aged. Well, what happens to it? It has tiny cracks in the asphalt. It doesn't have grit and doesn't have grip. It's slick, it's smooth when it's first paved, and then you can't move around. When the sun gets onto it, it creates those cracks. It creates it. It just creates that aggression. It eats up the tires. They can do whatever they want. I mean, if they wanted to, they can make a track extra slick if they wanted to. There's probably some sort of top layer. Maybe they could polish the track. I have no idea. I think they should be willing to try whatever it takes. And I don't care if they have to come up with a completely new asphalt mixture. There's got to be a way to get rid of this 15-year wait just for a racetrack to be worthy of great racing. And I know if I was a track owner, that would be the #1 thing I would be investing in. is the confidence that we can repave a track, not have to worry about weepers, and have 15 years of return on investment. And oh, by the way, we don't have to worry about losing our fan attendance because the racing is single file and by most people's standards, a snooze fest. To me, it doesn't bother me. But when they're 5 wide, 4 wide, duking and diving at Auto Club, I want to bring that to Michigan. Michigan's going to get there eventually, yes. But it takes time because Michigan was last paved, I think, before the 2012 season. But it's going to take time. And, you know, another thing is each track has different weather, you know. A track in one state might age 4 times faster than a track in another state because of the cold temperatures, the heat, hurricanes, floods, different things like that all affect these racetracks. So, it's not a one-size-fits-all, but I definitely think it's something to chew on. Jamie McMurray is not going away quietly, guys. He is not going away quietly. I just can't get up there, man. I have been trying and trying. We're going to tear up the car here, so yeah, just back it down. Even McMurray hit the fence. He just was better than us, guys. Yeah, next time we go to these 2 miles, we're going to have to really work on it. We didn't have the qualifying effort. Just not a good race for us, guys. We got to be better than that if we want to have a chance at winning these races. But you know what? It is what it is. We had a great run at Martinsville. We were on the right side of the caution. Had a great finish. We survived and we advanced. 21st, the best we could do. Jeff Gordon puts on a clinic. Another top 5 for Jeff Burton. He's coming alive. Well then. So, that one's in the books. Jeff Gordon just obliterates Fontana. Bobby Labonte gets 1 lap lead and the other Joe Gibbs Racing Team. But again, Jeff Burton, he's getting better. It's funny how, like, for the better part of, like, 7 seasons in this playthrough, he's done nothing. And now that most of the drivers that are championship contenders have retired, he's slowly creeping to the top. A top 10 run for Earnhardt. Looking through the field here. Last week's winner, Elliott Sadler, a respectable 16th considering their average. And let's go to the bottom of the barrel. And it's going to be B. Carter and B. Banks, the bottom of the barrel. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope to see you in the next episode, which is going to be at Richmond, I believe. We'll see how that barn burner goes. And, of course, help support the channel. Feel free to use that promo code down below. Don't have to use it. Use code DIECASTbuffet at checkout for Circle B Diecast. Another top 10 for Michael Waltrip. That's pretty good. And, of course, you know, for that code, sir, minimum orders $30 or more. Don't have to use it. Jeff Gordon wins Auto Club 500. I wish we would have had a better run today, but keep on keeping on. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great one. Diecast Buffet signing off.